So here it is, finally done, and I'll show you what I did. I put these little gazzer hinges in there that helps open them. And then you just close it like that, and open them up like this. A little tricky getting them lined up, but I did. I also put, I don't know if I said, I put shelf paper. It's like a foamy rubber shelf paper. I checked it. It's good for patios and outdoors, so I figured it should be good with water. I used carpet glue to adhere that. I took my holes like I showed you. I'm gonna put lights in, so maybe you can get a better view, but right now this is my, I believe this rod is 7.3, and it fits in there. I'm gonna build a back unit. I took a picture of a bass boat at Cabela's, and I copied. I'm gonna copy what they use to hold the rods and back, but that's it. Some storage in there. This is where I'm putting the life jackets and some of these bags, some of these monster bass bags. But that's it. This project is 98% done. I still have this opening here that I'm going to carpet a piece for, but that's it. And the best thing about all of this is, if you needed to, you could take it out. The only thing is, I did need a support here, so I pop riveted and put some marine glue on those rivets. I don't know if you can see them. It's nighttime, but that's it. These close up. They stay closed, and that's it. There's the project. Deck extension project. These brackets, but they were sharp on the corners, so I just rounded them down with a grinder, just so that I'm not cutting my arm every time I reach in the boxes. I'm just gonna screw this into the front. I'll just screw this in here. I'm gonna snug that up there and get a couple screws in there. Stainless, of course. So I carpeted the fascia, and I actually put some rubber mat inside the back, and I put rubber mats inside of the shelving, or the hatches, which, if I could find my hatches, I would show you. So I found that every time I experimentally was using this rod holder, that I would chip up the black paint. So I painted it again, let it dry, and then I've lacquered it. I put 3 coats of lacquer on it. That ought to give it some durability, and that way it won't keep chipping up. I used a gloss lacquer, so it's a little shinier than it's clear polyurethane for indoor, outdoor, 15-minute drying. That way I can put on a bunch of coats in a day. But that's it. That's it. Now I just have to screw in the corners, and I have that 1-inch piece of aluminum underneath it, because eventually the frame that I built is going to have to slide under that. So what I did is I took this stuff and just foamed the inside where I duct taped it, and then I'm just going to slide this back down like this. Slide it down on the tape, and hopefully that'll at least adhere a little bit, and that is what I have. Make sure there's none leaking out the front, and there isn't, and that's just dust. It's not. That's it. Looks like it's filled up pretty good inside. So again, I'm going to carpet this, and I'm going to carpet this. Screw everything in, it should be good to go. I may have to go down and dig out some more foam. I just stuck a rod in there, and I'm like, it fits, but it's, you gotta shove it, you gotta force it a little, so I'm gonna go up and scrape out some more foam up front before I, after this dry fit, just to make sure it's clear. Okay, so here it is now with the wood piece installed, and see how these sit right on the aluminum. frame. And this I'll have to, it's not really holding down great, but I did leave approximately about a quarter of an inch here, just so that my carpet fits under it. And I still do have to carpet this piece, but these go in. I'll put them in and then I'll turn it back. One other thing I don't think I've covered in any of the videos is that when I carpeted these, I found some shelf paper, some like kind of thick, like plush. It's like this soft shelf paper, but it said it was water resistant. And I used carpet glue to hold it down, just to make this look a little cleaner. I mean, I did have it spray painted. You know, I painted it 3 times, 3 coats, but I just like the look of this better, and so I put some shelf paper. Just I hate to call it shelf paper because it's much nicer than that. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but. Okay, so I just put this piece under here. I do have to carpet that, and it needs one more coat of paint as well. So one more coat of paint here. I'm gonna have to paint this where I routed it, but those are the lids. I did leave some clearance for the other layer of carpet. That is, see how I left the area, but essentially, I don't know if I can actually get this up with my fingertips, but yeah, I can. And then this, these will lift up. I bought some locks, and then that'll be the rod locker. These are going to flip this way. I have, oh, that came off the end there. That's it. That's where I'm at. And you can see that's sturdy. It's not going anywhere. This will hold anybody. But especially once I get those, the plywood under it. I'm gonna put in the plywood piece and secure it all and do all that. Now my goal is hopefully to open this, to put a handle here and open this way, but that's pretty tight. I may have to finagle that a little. So, yep. And then this will hopefully open this way, like this. Well, it won't fall through when I get this all put in here correctly. But that'll open up, allowing me to get to the previous rod storage, those 4 that are in there. And then I'm also going to cut it here, put a hinge on it so that this opens up this way in case I need to slide my rods out. That's it. Actually, there, that goes in there good like that. That's it. Yeah, it slid down, but that's where it goes and how it goes. But I left room under that too for carpeting. But that's it, man. It's the rod locker project / deck extension. I'm gonna put lighting in it as well. Actually, I may have somebody do it. I'm not great with electrical. Let's see. So there, now I put the frame in. And again, like I said, you see how this is. But remember, I have that bracket there that holds this, gives that, it's completely firm. I put that in. I do have to screw that in, but that's in position. It clears that top aluminum. Then, since I have no supports here, however, the board I cut for this front, which is this piece right here, fits perfectly under this lip so that it'll give it support. And then I also have boards cut for in here to add support as well. So, I mean, you know, my brother's a couple 100 pounds. He'll be able to walk on this. And, you know, I'm a $160. I don't have any trouble walking on it. So that's that. And then I'll turn it back on once I put the other piece in place. So that's it, inserted. Again, I have that 1-inch piece of aluminum under it, just because this frame is actually going to fit right under it after I screw it in. When I screw it in, I'll probably lift it up another 1/16 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch, just to make sure that I have room and I'm not jamming this under it. But that's it for now. I'm gonna throw some more together and see how it looks. So here it is, finished. Essentially, this is a cutting board that I bought on Amazon, and then these are PVC pipes that I flanged using a wine bottle and a heat gun. I cut a 3/4 inch piece of plywood to make the insert. I use these holes to trace these holes, and I cut this. I measured the opening and made sure that this was a little bit smaller so that it'll slide in. I used flex tape to hold these pipes in with, I put a zip tie on each pipe to hold these in so that they're held in tight. And then I use flex tape on the back and some duct tape just to make it thick so it wouldn't pull through. And then I put this duct tape, I wrapped it around it. And what I'm gonna do now is cut a hole in this, fill it with expanding foam, and then I'm gonna insert it in that slot right there. That is the plan. I also had to allow 1 inch for this aluminum frame to fit underneath it, and I made sure that it cleared this right here, and then I'm just gonna screw that in. I'm gonna put 4 screws in there. I'll use some self-tapping screws, but I'll probably pre-drill them first. That's it. I cut out the back of that hole. I also cut out all the foam that's underneath, and essentially this is the frame. The frame fits in nicely, and these are my carpeted tops. The only thing I have really left to do is to spray paint my cover, which this is actually pretty insignificant ultimately. It does have aluminum framing under it, so it is super sturdy. But I also put I pop riveted these catches on so that none of the lids would fall through, obviously. I am just about ready to assemble it. I do have to paint and carpet this last piece here. I routed these edges to be certain that I had clearance from the carpet. Just even if it is jammed in pretty tight, it's only, it's only this big of a piece that's holding it. So with some handles that I bought on Amazon, just these little cheap ones, but they actually match the ones that come with the boat. One other thing I had to do was I had to clip off the top of this because I'm going to cover it. I'm going to also build a door in the end of the aluminum frame so that I can pull the rods out here like this. I can pull them out this way, or I can take them out the top because I'm gonna have a flip open. Top, and as it goes together, I'll take more video. But that's it. I also cut this in here so that it would clear the driving console. And once it gets all together, it'll make more sense. But that's it. I'm going to use that little 1-inch piece there to hold this up. And again, I'm just going to pop that foam in there now. This looks like white, but it's not. It's actually glare from the camera for some reason. It's pulling out. But yeah, so, and this is the tricky part. So this is actually a cutting board, a plastic cutting board. I did it with wood initially, but unfortunately, the wood wasn't sturdy enough. I didn't like it, and it cracked down the middle. So instead of that, I started over completely. I didn't want to half-ass the project, so I started over completely and decided to use this instead. I routed the edges, and one trick is when I went to cut this, I did have to cut it to size. I don't know what that is, probably a pube. When I cut this to size, I turned the blade around on my table saw, and I found that it cut this stuff better. Otherwise, it kept melting the plastic and jamming up the saw. So if you put your blade on backwards, it'll work better. I was working on this on my floor, on the carpet, and so it's got some puppy hair on it because my dog sheds. That's it, man. That's it. I'll throw some more together, but for now, that's where I'm at. So here it is, and despite everyone on YouTube's warnings, I did run the carpet the right way on these two panels, but it appears to me that this one is reversed. Although I am running it front to back, it appears to me that the carpet's front is here and the back is there because it's two different colors. So I'm either going to remake that piece or strip the carpet off it and recarpet it. But that's it. That's the way the frame is, and this just sets in the boat. So, and then the way I have these framed in, that's gonna lift like that. And I bought some struts for those and hinges. So put the hinges and struts in. Yeah, let's so it looks from that side. That's how it looks back. Remember, I put aluminum that supports this, that's connected to the boat, so those will be held up. This has more support than that. And this side, I believe, I'm gonna open this way, if the side of the boat will let me, and I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to put a support here. But that's where I'm at. That's it so far. So I had the issue with the front of that breaking. It cracked, so I'm just gonna rebuild the entire thing. So again, live and learn. But the front broke when I was trying to put it in, and it's just regular wood, which was a mistake. I should have used plywood. Or what I opted to do was buy a cutting board online, and it turns out that this stuff melts when you cut it, and so it was getting jammed up in the saw and making it really difficult. But a buddy of mine suggested I flip the blade around to cut this stuff, and if you turn the blade backwards, it seems to cut better. And then I routed the edge, which is, let me see, it's this edge here, and I just routed the edge just to make it look a little neater. I'll sand that down and make it look good. Now I'm gonna pop the 2-inch holes. I'm gonna make them a little bit closer so it's not as tight a fit when I go to put it in the opening, which is there. And that's it. I'm gonna retry it. This is my back piece, but I'm gonna rebuild that and hopefully do it so that it fits a little better. But you know, that's it. It's a project, and it only cost me a few bucks extra. I think this was 20 bucks, and you know, I bought some more whatever it's called. So I'm doing this, but you have to keep in mind that you need the 1 inch to for the aluminum, the 1 inch aluminum that's on the bottom. I leveled this so that it's below this, where the top of the frame is going to be. It just fits here. If you see, it's just below that, so that it covers the entire thing. And now I'm just gonna space out the holes and re-drill these, and rebuild the front. So I put a zip tie on there, and then I put white duct tape on it, and then I cover it with this flex tape, which is made by Flex Tape. Spray gun and spray all the parts. I'm going to put 3 coats on. I'm going to do 2 base coats, and then I have some really good marine grade paint that I'm going to put on top. So just about everybody on YouTube mentions this, but if you notice, because I have to wrap carpet here and here, I took out a 16 for each side, both on the top and the bottom. and on the sides as well, just to make sure that it's a good fit and not too snug. So I routed the top of this board, just a small little rounded end. And the reason I did that is because when I put the hinges in here, I want it to come up nice. I don't want it to catch up. Once I get that carpet on there, it may be tight. So I'm gonna do this edge as well in that top. And then I'm going to do this edge, the entire edge, because this is gonna open that way. I routed this front edge just because I figure if people are stepping up on it, you don't want that to be too sharp of an edge, otherwise it'll cut the carpet. All right, so here's where I'm at. I put a front board on, cut it like that. I don't figure that'll matter because I'm gonna wrap carpet around it. I may have to trim that on the end just to make room for the carpet. I probably have to trim a 16th off here and a 16th off there, up here, just to make sure that it fits in. But the way I have it is with the aluminum frame wrapped around it. And that's it. I mean, just throwing it together, see how it comes out. I left this exposed. That'll give it support for the lids. And then I'm going to add this aluminum that I bought. It's kind of just a small little aluminum, but I can put that, and I'll clean up the edges so nobody gets cut. But that'll hold up the lids after I do this, and hopefully I'm hoping I have a 1/4 inch there. I believe I do. It may be over a 1/4, but I don't know how thick it's gonna get once I wrap the carpet. Okay, so here's what I did. I built these two frames and I measured out the boat, the lower frame and the top frame. I used 3/4 inch aluminum. There it is. And I pop riveted the corners with these little brackets. And I did the same with the smaller bottom piece, which the bottom piece of aluminum, I duplicated this measurement here. I duplicated the inside measurement so that they're, if you see, they're the same size. And now my goal is to, I think I'm gonna put this piece of aluminum, I'm gonna do the math on it, but I'm gonna figure out where to screw this, because this is solid and I can screw to it. I'm gonna screw this to the front so that it is 1 inch and I believe 11/16. I'll have to recheck the measurements, but I believe it's 1 inch and 11/16, which accounts for 3/4 of an inch for the framing, 3/4 of an inch for the plywood, and then 2/16 for the thickness of the carpet that I'm gonna wrap around it, around the plywood. And it also, I added an extra 1/16 just for good measure because, you know, rivets and staple size and all of that, you know, glue and whatever. So it should come up close, and if it's a fraction off, I don't really mind, but that's where I'm at. So I just made these out of top rivets and 3/4 inch aluminum, and I just measured the boat. I also extended this top piece so that in the bottom piece, so that it lift it and show you. So that, you know, it runs all the way to here. I may even put some small pieces of this framing on the hull. I may actually drill through the hull. They'll be up high where it shouldn't be affected, and I'll use some marine grade glue. But I may actually put a piece of framing here as well, just to make absolute sure that it's sturdy and can hold, you know, me and whoever I'm fishing with. So that's it so far, and I may also have to change the size of, get out here. I may actually have to change some of this. It may have to be a little shorter on top, or I may have to change that size, but that's it for now. Okay, so here's where I'm at. Okay, so what I did was I removed this. I used the square bit to remove the previous rod holder, and I cut down that exact angle. I just followed this across, and I realized I may lose a rod, but I'm gaining 12, a rod holder, but I may even be able to use that for a spinning rod or something like that. So, but that is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna re-drill holes just so that this part's not loose, and I'll probably even throw some marine glue in those holes. But that's where I'm at. And then I put up this little half-inch piece of aluminum that'll hold the frame. So that's very like hard plastic. It wasn't an issue. I just drilled new holes just so that doesn't come away from the carpet. And this will be covered up with the plywood and the frame.